All right, so I am going to start off today with the lower body warm up that we always do. So I'm going to try to get as much in the camera view, but I'll just be going through it as I normally would. So I've got a mat, got a foam roller, and I'm going to start with the foam roller on one quad. So you just want it on one quad, lay on your forearms, and we're going to go forward and back, 1-2 inch movements, oscillating forward and back. And as you know, we do a minute on each side. So you can just stay here with any kind of foam roller that you have, or you can start flexing the foot up and down, and that just digs into that muscle a little more. So like if we're getting a massage, we're just digging into that a little more to wake up our quads. And then if you're more tight from standing or sitting a lot, that would be your groin area that could be tighter, so you can just go higher up. And if it doesn't, I mean, you can still just kind of go all through the quad area as you roll. All right, go to the other side. 1-2 inch movements, up and down. And then again, flex if you like to just dig into that muscle just a little more. Again, going all the way up to the groin area if it's tight. You can also kind of move it side to side, and that just kind of gets all ranges here for the quad. And then we're gonna go to the adductor, where we're gonna have one inner part of the thigh on the foam roller. As we're going, same thing, 1-2 inch movements, back and forth, and then you can kind of adjust it if you need to, or keep it in one spot. And then the way to dig into it further is to extend the leg up and down. I'm trying to show you from different angles. So we're just going up and down, forward and back. Oh, that can be forward and back. So again, you can do a minute on each side, give or take 30 seconds, a minute. So this is the adductor because we're working the inner part of the thigh, the adductors. The abductors are on the outside. And then again, if you want to flex, forward and back. Oh. And then the thoracic spine that we do in both upper and lower warm-ups. So again, you just roll up and down. I'm just trying to avoid the neck area, so I'll even get the top of my shoulders. Trying to see if I can get my back to pop, or just anything that's tight that needs some little light massaging to wake the muscles up. You can also do the crunch where you're going inhale, exhale. So I'm just moving my glutes to my feet and back. So inhale, exhale. So that's another way that you can do it. So you can mix it up, or just slide your feet up and down. All right, feel good there. All right, phase 2 for the stretch. So half kneeling, and then we're gonna go forward and back. Your hands can be on your working quad, or you can on the ground. You can also go into that leaning lizard to hamstring stretch. And then if you have tight hip flexors, you might want to go to a 45-degree angle. So that just opens up our hips a little bit more. So 90 degrees or 45 to the corners. It is so cold here. It's been in the 30s and 40s, and now it's in the teens in the early morning, but more like 20s, 30s now. But we have these space heaters that make it really nice. All right, other side, so 90 degrees, forward and back. Do a little leaning lizard, hamstring stretch. I just like to move it around. Do 90 degrees, do some 45. Again, if you have tight hips, tight hip flexors, the groin's tight, then you might prefer doing the 45-degree angle because it digs into a little bit more. Now we go into the adductor. So we did the adductor with the foam roller. This one, where your foot is completely flat, facing 90, facing the front, as we are in that quadricep, hands in line with shoulders, and then we rock back. So the adductor rock backs. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you foam rolled it and you don't feel like stretching it, that's fine. You can do either or. And then I'm gonna switch. So foot is flat, facing the front as I rock back. Again, from this angle, I'm just rocking back. All right, then we're gonna go into our bird dogs or dead bugs. So bird dog, opposite arm, opposite leg. So I get my quadricep, hands in line with shoulders, hips in line with knees, opposite arm, opposite leg. And then that foot is just about an inch off the ground. And then my hand is slightly elevated. And then I come in and then I switch. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Hold for about a second or two. Come in and I'm gonna switch. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And switch. You just think that foot is just about an inch or two above the ground. Hand is slightly above, slightly hyperextended out in front. So, bird dog, opposite arm, opposite leg. Hold for a second or two, come back, switch. Just like so. And then if you want to continue doing that, or only do about 5 on each side. Or for the dead bugs, you don't have to have a foam roller, but opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping my back as flat to the ground, where nothing is coming between my back and the mat. So, and again, my foot isn't up, it's just hovering above the ground. So, foot's just above the ground, hands extended. And then I'll show you, so if I didn't want to use the foam roller, don't have one, tabletop. And then if my right foot's out, my left hand's extended, come back and switch, right hand out, left foot extended. All right, so phase 1, foam rolling, phase 2, stretch, phase 3, corrective, phase 4, activation with the bands. So I've got a black one here. This is the tightest I would go. So usually for these, a medium or a strong one works. But, and again, you can do this standing up or on the ground. If I'm standing up, I'm in this feet hip width apart, slight bend, and then slightly out to the side. And I'm keeping about a 90-degree box here. And you can hold on to something, or if you can balance, you can do 5 on each side, or you can go ahead and knock out 10. So I'm just gonna go ahead and knock out 10 here. So hip width apart, slight bend. I'm gonna do 10 on each side. Boom. And then glute bridges, 2 sets of 10. If you want to knock it all out. So keeping that on, get to our glute bridge, use our elbows to push up, or you can have your hands pressing down. And if you're gonna go ahead and knock them all out, I just say do 10, do a quick stretch, and then go back and do 10 more. So yeah, so you could do the standing, or you could do this kneeling for the fire hydrants, and then the glute bridges, just like this. If I do 10, I'm gonna just stretch it out, just so I don't over exhaust my back, since this is the warm up. Yeah, and back at it. So hands firmly pressed down, or you can use those elbows to kind of help you get a good extension. Squeeze the glutes up top, relax. Squeeze for a second, and relax. Almost done. So again, if you want to do the fire hydrants, you can do them standing up, or if it's comfortable to get on your knees, you can just do the fire hydrants from the ground. Because I'm using a much tighter band today, they're just not going to get much of an extension, but that's okay. For the fire hydrants, we only really need like 3 or 4 inches. All right, so that was phase 4 activation, phase 5 patterning. So this is where we're in our goblet stance, holding a weight and squatting. So if you have some kind of weight at home, a little wider with our feet turned to the corners, straight back as we squat. So I decided to use this band since I've got this is the thickest band I have. So you can put it around your neck and do this. So I'm using the resistance instead of holding weight in front of me, instead of having a weighted vest on. You could just do this with your band. From this angle, it's like, now if this bothers you, there are other ways you can do it. I mean, you can hold it, you can have it in your hands. If you can hold it and it doesn't irritate you like that. And if it feels like it's not enough resistance, you can just get your feet a little wider, a little more out to the corners. That's going to give you more resistance as you're squatting. You get from this angle like that, and also you could just, so if you want to get like that, and then step, and then extend up. That's another way to get it on. So you can just kind of play around. Feel free to pause this at any time to get the setup that works best for you. So with these, you can do 2 sets of 5 and superset it with a single leg RDLs, or knock it out like I just did 10 just then. And then the single leg RDLs. So that's our kickstand, slight bend as we come down and up. So I've got an ottoman right here. If you got some kind of ottoman or table that you want to use for stabilization, if you feel like you need it. So kickstand, slight bend, and I'm going down and up. So you can hold on to something. You can have weights if you've got some weights, dumbbells, kettlebells. This really isn't weight, but if I just wanted to have something to kind of hold on to, keep in front of me as I balance on one leg, you can do that. So kickstand, slight bend. If I'm holding something, I'm holding it with the foot that's going back. Little off balance as the playing around here. But yeah, I see the idea. So you can be holding something, holding some weight, lightweight. I really don't need more than 15, 20 pounds here. Or have something. So if you're leaning onto something, you could try to go all the way extend and get flat on the ground. And then again, you know, my leg's only coming all the way straight across if my hand or object is touching the ground. Otherwise, you kind of think of like skating. You're just slightly going down as far as your leg is coming up. So again, the goblet squats, you can do 5 at a time and then 5 single leg RDLs on each side, or you can knock out 10 goblet squats and then 10 single leg RDLs on each side. All right, I'm getting exhausted. Phase 6, central nervous system prep. So the jacks, where we start wide, come together, 5 jacks, and then the 1 step down. So if you don't have anything, you can just pretend that you're stepping down. So jump down, up, back. 3 rounds of this. 3, 4, 5, opposite leg, like I'm stepping down, and vertical jump up. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to step off my ottoman or couch, I'm just slowly coming down, up and down. And again, you don't have to jump. You can do the side step and then just pretend you're jumping down. Just doing some kind of stimulation, pump your body up. And I'm gonna stop this here. So this warm up is separate from any workouts if you want to continue with that.